Imagine if you wore a magical mask that as soon as you put it on gave you the strength of 100 elephants. Something like this happens in today's story. The story begins with a boy named Leo Thompson who was fighting against a much larger opponent in an official wrestling match. Despite this, Leo knocked the wrestler down and attacked him with an elbow drop, after which he easily won the match. But this wasn't a real match. It was just a vivid dream that disappeared as soon as Leo woke up. Coming out of the dream world, Leo quickly left for school, where he met his friends Caleb and Rio, who were thinking of participating in the school's wrestling competition. However, Leo wasn't very interested, as he had already won the WWE in his dreams and didn't want to participate in these small tournaments. But then, some troublemakers overheard their conversation and began bothering the three of them. They snatched Leo's drawing and mocked him in front of everyone. During lunch, Leo was completely distracted by a girl named Erica, whom he had a one-sided crush on. He was so engrossed in staring at Erica that he dropped all his noodles on himself. After school, when Leo was on his way home, the same troublemakers caught him again and started chasing him. However, a car came in their way, and they had to stop for a while. In that moment, Leo ran into an unknown house, but the boys were still chasing him. Trying to escape from them, Leo entered a room filled with wrestling equipment, and the boys soon realized where he was. They began banging on the door, but just then, the owner of the house arrived and immediately chased the boys away. Inside the room, Leo's eyes fell on a stinky mask. He was about to wear the mask when the owner entered the room and started questioning him. But seeing Leo's innocence, the man gifted him the mask. After returning home, Leo sat down to watch a wrestling match with his grandmother, and soon his father, Steve, also returned. On TV, WWE announced a wrestling championship, the winner of which would become the next WWE champion. Fortunately, this championship was to be held in Leo's city. The final match of this championship would be a cage match, and the winner would get a WWE contract and a huge prize. Hearing this news, Leo was thrilled, but at the same time, he wanted to know about his mother, who hadn't returned home for several days. However, when Leo asked his father about it, Steve avoided the question and left the room. The truth was, Leo's mother, Rachel, had left their family to marry someone else, which made it difficult for Steve to talk to Leo about it. How could he explain that his mother didn't care about him? Meanwhile, Dennis wanted to stay with her grandson Leo for a few days because Steve had to work outside to earn more money to pay off a huge debt. Back in his room, Leo tried on the mask, and as soon as he wore it, his voice became much deeper, and he felt an overwhelming strength in his body. Leo immediately realized that the mask held something special inside it, which is why he attempted a somersault. But as soon as he did, his foot hit the cupboard, causing him to fall. However, this time, Leo stopped the heavy cupboard with just one finger. But that wasn't enough for Leo, so he decided to test his strength further by starting to lift cars. Afterward, he kicked a tree in his yard and brought it down. After discovering the mask's powers, Leo began gathering information about it and learned that the mask actually belonged to a very powerful wrestler from ancient times, containing many abilities. However, the mask only chose its wrestler and had not appeared to anyone for the last 50 years. The next day at school, Leo noticed Trevor and his friends bullying his friends, as they did every day. But this time, Leo wasn't going to stay quiet. He immediately put on his mask and told Trevor to stop. However, the boys weren't intimidated by Leo's threat. Just then, Leo suddenly turned off the lights and disappeared. When the lights turned back on, the three boys were hanging from the locker. That same day, the announcement was made on TV about the championship's first fighter, named Samson, and everyone believed that Samson would become the star of the competition. The next day, Leo also went to the championship wearing his mask. However, the receptionist told him that he was too young for this. After behaving persistently, Leo was finally allowed to enter under the name Kid Case. As soon as he reached the wrestlers area, one wrestler stopped him from sitting on a chair, but another wrestler named Smooth Operator offered him her seat. Soon after, Samson entered the room, and as soon as he sat on the chair, it broke under his weight, grabbing the attention of all the wrestlers. The championship started with a throw challenge, where Samson threw 2 barrels, but when it was Leo's turn, he threw the barrel out of the stadium. In the next test, wrestlers had to demonstrate their moves on a dummy. Leo surprised everyone by jumping from one side of the ring to the other, which left everyone stunned. After all the tests were finished, it was time for selection. Smooth Operator was the second last to be selected, and Leo's name came up last on the list, which made him incredibly happy. After the selection, when Leo quietly entered his room through the window, he was shocked to see his grandmother, Dennis. Upon being asked, Leo told Dennis that he wanted to win the championship to pay off his father's debts. The next day, while Leo was sitting in the library with his friends, his eyes fell on Erica, who was standing nearby. After his friends repeatedly encouraged him, Leo finally put on his mask and went over to talk to Erica. However, he still didn't have the courage to speak directly to her, so he stood behind a bookshelf to talk. During their conversation, they both decided to study together and talk on the phone sometimes, which made Leo very happy. Meanwhile, the championship was underway, with Leslie, a wrestler, winning the first match. Smooth Operator and Samson also easily won their first matches. Leo, as Kid Case, was fully prepared for his match with Cowboy. As soon as the match started, Cowboy tried to lift and slam Leo, but Leo made several attempts to stop him. Despite Leo's efforts, Cowboy slammed him into the ring. But as Cowboy moved forward for a countdown, Leo managed to throw him into the air with a single push. Leo felt he had won the match, but then Cowboy made a comeback and tried to tie him up with a rope. This time, Leo was ready. He threw the rope back at Cowboy and started running around the ring. To finish the match, Leo used an elbow knock. The next morning, Leo was sitting in his room when his grandmother called him downstairs. There, he met Erica, and he was shocked to see her. Erica explained that she came without her phone to surprise him. However, for Leo, this was a bit too exciting. Seeing her at his house made him flustered. The next match for Kid Case was against a wrestler named Stunkface. As soon as Leo got near her, he could smell the awful stench coming from her body, which was hard for him to bear. Taking advantage of this, Stunkface rubbed her sweat on Leo's face, causing him to fall down. As Stunkface moved forward to attack again, Leo quickly dodged and made a successful counterattack. Stunkface then hit Leo with a powerful fart, almost throwing him out of the ring. Despite this, Leo managed to recover and knock Stunkface down. When it was time to pin her, Leo decided to use his foot instead of his hands because he couldn't bear the stench anymore. The next day, as Leo was about to leave for school, Steve asked him about his friendship with Erica. To avoid the topic, Leo began asking about his mother. Later that day, when Leo's friends were sitting in a cafe discussing Kid Case, some boys asked Erica why she was with these losers. Erica responded that she was simply spending time with her friends and didn't need to explain to anyone. Suddenly, a man entered the cafe and pointed a gun at the waiter's head, causing everyone to duck under the tables. They hid, and then Leo, removing his mask, told his friends the truth about Kid Case. After that, he put the mask back on and immediately went to confront the man. He threw food at him quickly and knocked him down. Leo then dragged the man and threw him out of the cafe. Meanwhile, Dennis told Steve that Leo should tell him about his mother, as Leo still hoped for her return. As long as he didn't find out the truth, this hope would remain. Leo was rapidly becoming popular at school, and the boys who bullied him started watching him all the time out of frustration. On the other hand, Steve had no idea about his son's powers. During the championship semi-final, Samson fought a fighter named Leslie, who gave him a tough challenge. But in the end, Samson defeated him with his deadly move. Now it was time for the match between Kid Case and Smooth Operator. Both were great friends outside the ring, but as soon as Leo climbed into the ring, he felt something strange in his feet and suddenly slipped. Smooth Operator told him to take some time, but Leo didn't care and immediately asked to start the fight. As soon as the fight began, Smooth Operator threw him out of the ring with a single move. It was then that Leo realized someone had put glue on his shoes. Before Smooth Operator could pin him and start the countdown, Leo threw him into the air. Afterward, Smooth Operator tried to attack him multiple times, but Leo dodged every attack and once again sent him flying into the air. Finally, Leo won the match with a powerful elbow blow. But before going off stage, he praised Smooth Operator and assured everyone that Smooth Operator would never cheat to win a match and that someone else had put Fevicol on his shoes. After the match, Leo met his friends again with whom he had planned to participate in the school talent show. At that moment, he was called for a press conference. However, he didn't know that Sun's agents had discovered the truth about him. During the press conference, Samson broke a table with one hand. After that, his agent asked Leo to do the same. Leo replied, "Am I crazy? I don't go around breaking tables." Do I have something written on my forehead?" Upon hearing this, Samson angrily tried to attack Leo, but the security guards stopped him. During the press conference, Leo was asked to participate in a photo shoot, even though he was running late for the school talent show. Meanwhile, at school, Erica got worried because everyone except Leo had arrived. She asked the principal to let her perform last, but after all the performances ended, Erica had to go on stage alone. Seeing this, Leo's friend decided to support her, which surprised everyone present. When Leo finally arrived at school after the photo shoot, he saw that everyone had left and only his friends were left, waiting for him for hours. Leo tried to apologize, but by then they had seen his photos, which clearly showed him having fun. Later, when he went back to the parking lot, he saw that the bullies had broken his bicycle. The next morning, Leo apologized to his friends again for ignoring them, and after several apologies, they finally forgave him. A few hours later, when Steve came back home, he couldn't find Leo or Dennis. Leo then went to his room where a picture of his family was still hanging. Before the championship final match, Samson and his agent came to Leo's changing room. The agent revealed that he knew the truth about Leo. Meanwhile, the agent distracted Dennis and Leo, and during this time, Samson secretly replaced Leo's mask with a fake one. After that, both of them went back to the ring for the match. Leo still had no idea that the mask he was wearing was not magical. To watch the match, superstar Sheamus was invited. Meanwhile, Steve was watching the match on TV but didn't know that his son was Kid Case. As the match began, Samson started beating Leo, but Leo's attacks had no effect on Samson. Leo was getting very frustrated. Once again, Leo tried to lift Samson, but Samson threw him away with a single move. He then showed Leo his real mask, and immediately, Leo understood Samson's plan. He quickly removed his fake mask, revealing his true identity as Kid Case. This shocked Steve and everyone else. Seeing this, Samson tried to wear the mask, but due to his big head, he couldn't. He threw it on top of the cage. At that moment, Leo threw his fake mask down and started talking to Samson. However, Samson wasn't in the mood to talk and began attacking Leo. The referee tried to stop him, but he was no match for Samson's strength and got beaten up. Samson then threw Leo into the air, and Leo got closer to the mask. As Leo tried to grab the mask, Steve, seeing his son in trouble, rushed to the ring and reminded Leo of their past discussions, where they used to talk about every wrestler's weaknesses. Steve then told Leo that Samson's real weakness was his fear of heights. Hearing this, Samson fell to the ground, and at the same time, Leo grabbed the mask. However, Leo decided not to use the mask and threw it out of the ring. Afterward, Leo hit Samson with an elbow from that height, winning the match with his own skills, not the mask's powers. Leo won the match with his ability and used the prize money to pay off his father's loan. He and his father lived happily ever after.